It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kinda patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Going on, but it's gonna take time, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
Still learning this shit, but I'm back, bitches. I'm seeing the comments and I'm like, what do you mean? What, you're worried about me? Like, I'm fine. I'm just old. I've been moving and I've been so messed up. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if the audio is okay. If I need to do anything. I'm still trying to work a whole bunch of stuff out. It's been nuts. My setup is wonk. I don't even know what the hell is happening half the time. I've been experimenting with new keyboards. Yeah, the song is back. Damn it. I've been missing the song myself. And, and I've seen so many live streamers with like 30-minute intros. And a lot of that is to let viewers get their notifications on YouTube, because YouTube likes to just like funnel everything and bottleneck everything and play a bunch of games with everybody's subscribers. And it's almost like we're promoting ourselves, but they're promoting us, but then they want to redirect our subscribers to other channels if they want to. And like, how relevant are you now compared to how relevant this other person is? And it's just all a bunch of hustle and bustle in games. So it is what it is. But generally, if you let an intro go a little while longer, like right now, there's 226 people. The numbers are growing. More and more people are getting their notifications. And it is what it is. But yeah, I'm live right now. Welcome back. It's Monday. And where to begin? What's going off? I'm getting notifications from somewhere, and I don't know where it is. Must be the other system. I'm assuming it sounds like the subscriber notification. So I guess some of you guys have subscribed. Thank you. Wow. It has been a while. How long has it been now? A couple of weeks. And I've been just trading and learning, and holy cow, these notifications that I'm getting right now. I don't get any of this stuff on this computer. So but, I've been seeing a lot of comments. There's a lot of stuff going on about Cardano and sentiment for Cardano, and feels like a month. It's been a couple of weeks for sure. It's definitely been a couple of weeks, and man, it's been tough. It's been tough. I'm gonna have to mute this other computer because I'm getting all these notifications on this system. and we're gonna have to turn that down. So I don't have a full-blown system of things to go over, but I do have an idea, right? One of the things I'm going to go over is somebody posted on cryptocrow.io, and they posted this really long question about like what's happening with Cardano. Okay, and I figured it would be easiest for me. I answered his post because I try to answer every comment or question I get on my site. People that are there basically pay as low as $5 a month, but they're paying to support me and my efforts. And so I always try to make sure I'm at least very much available for everybody. And so when somebody posts a question, I answer. And this his question was very much honest. I mean, it was a very genuine question. So I'm gonna share this. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Is it this? Yeah. What is happening? Okay, there it is. All right, I'm gonna have to cut this screen down a bit because it's just getting a little crazy. And then we're going to go over this. All right. So this is the article. I basically turned it into an article, and I'm going to go into it. I'm going to share some of my extended thoughts on things to give everybody kind of an idea as to where I think we are. Because everybody has an opinion, right? There are a lot of people think the top is in. There are people who think we're just getting started. There's a whole thing. So we're going to cover a lot of that. And it's been a few weeks. I'm going to share some of my thoughts on things. But I'm going to go through this initially question for question. Crow, I've been an ADA investor for the last 4+ years, and I've been watching your content for a really long time. Thank you. I do have to ask, what is Cardano doing and where do we go from here? And so I broke down a list of a lot of the different things that have been happening, right? Because I feel like there's so much noise in the crypto space. And one of the things that I've noticed as well, especially on like X and social media, is there are always these bot accounts, and they're 100% bots, who anytime somebody says anything about Cardano, there is some random name number that says Cardano's a ghost chain or Cardano's dead or something like that, right? This is a paid, concentrated effort, right? From who knows who to basically try and suppress the interest of Cardano. And it's really sad because a lot of people do. I mean, the people that don't know any better see this stuff and they see it redundantly and they think, oh man, well, I don't want to touch that, man. Somebody that obviously knows more than me. I just started yesterday and they're saying it's dead. I'm going to listen to them. And they don't really take the time to find anything out. And on top of that, we see a lot of tribalism, obviously, still in crypto, and it is what it is. I don't even care anymore. It's fine. I'm so used to it at this point. But anyway, a key recent accomplishment is the Mithril team's upgrade to the Cardano node version 10.5, resolving issues in decentralized signature diffusion, enabling faster, more secure, light client synchronization for wallets and dApps. Now, when I go over some of these updates, I want you to think about the grand picture. I don't want you to just think about, I think one of the number one issues that Cardano has in the crypto space is, and I'm going to preface this by saying I'm obviously no genius, right? I'm not Charles Hoskinson. Charles, I believe, has, Charles is one of those guys who, I often compare him to like Steve Jobs, even though Charles is the one designing everything for the most part, right? He's got his team. I think he's much smarter than Steve Jobs. Personality traits may line up a bit, but I think obviously like Charles is Steve Jobs and Wozniak in one person with a beard and glasses and a pocket protector. Okay, that's how I kind of look at Charles. And I think that his vision is so far ahead of the majority of people in the space, to be frank with you. That some things don't necessarily make a lot of sense right this minute. And so anytime I see anything that's happening with Cardano or what he's working on, or new advancements, or new milestones, or systems, or whatever, I try to look at it the way Charles probably looks at it. And I think he looks at everything 10, 20, 30 years down the line. He doesn't look at things tomorrow, next week, next month. And I feel like a lot of these more cash grab projects look at tomorrow, next week, next month. They're always trying to figure out, how do we increase our volume? How do we increase, basically everything is centered around how do we make our token worth more? Because we either have all these venture capitalists that want a bigger return, or, whatever it is, they're just shoveling money into the hands of development groups and things and gimmicks and this and that and another thing. I don't think Charles gives two shits about any of that. I think he's legitimately trying to build something that is going to be utilized cross-platform across the globe, and he's looking at it as something that is going to continue solidifying its position in the market over the next year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Okay. And so when I go through some of these things and I go through the overall sentiment, I think it'll help make a little bit more sense. This builds on Mithril's role in boosting sync speeds accomplished earlier in 2025 and sets the stage for broader adoption in partner chains by 2026. In a historic milestone for decentralized governance, the Cardano community directly approved treasury funding for core protocol development via on-chain voting, marking the Voltaire era's full transition to community-led decisions. This accomplishment unlocks over 275 million ADA for maintenance and upgrades, with plans to expand annual budgets and elect a full constitutional committee by early 2026 to further decentralized oversight. I really do think that all of these projects that are getting treasury funding, we need oversight. They all need oversight. Because I can tell you right now, as liberal as I've been in my voting, yes, on projects for this initial treasury fund cycle, I'm going to be everybody's worst enemy in the next one. Because if you don't have results and you can't show that all of the money that went into you is worthwhile, you're never getting another vote from me, period. End of story. And we need oversight because, and I honestly thought about how could I create some sort of oversight committee myself that, like we get, whether it's a group of D-reps and we're all working together as our own kind of like a board. And, we want full access. We want to see where this money's going and what's being done. And if we're not satisfied, you're either going to get a list of things you need to do to satisfy those requirements, or you don't ever get a vote from any of us again. But I do believe that there are other people out there that I think would be in a much better position to facilitate establishing something like that. I'd be happy to be on it, but I don't have the time to organize it and maintain it that way. But I think this whole idea of everybody's pitching an idea, please give us money. I'm tired of I was getting slammed with so many messages from people who couldn't give two shits about me or my channel, pretending to be my best friend so that I would vote on their, I want $50 million because I want to create a new rat trap on the blockchain. Like, go fuck yourself. I don't have time for that. I don't care about your hope and your cash grab. I just don't. I don't care. Are you going to change the world? If you're not, I don't care about the next gimmick in line. I'm not here to pay you and get you well funded, while the rest of us are just kind of sitting around and like waiting for something to happen. I'm not with it. So IOE launched an integrated suite of tools for high assurance smart contract development, including automated formal verification, property-based testing, static analyzers, and ML-based transaction monitoring. This recent launch enhances security for all developers, accomplishing a key goal of SIP 112. Plans for 2026 involve expanding to multi-language support and Bitcoin interoperability. This is huge. Stimulations for Ouroboros Laos consensus upgrade demonstrated potential for 11,000 transactions per second. And again, and I have to keep reminding everybody of this because it's still not clicking with people, because I still see So many people comparing Cardano TPS to other blockchains. Once again, when you think of Cardano transactions per second compared to other blockchains transactions per second, think of another blockchain as having a car going through a tunnel. Okay, that's your one transaction per second. That's it. Cardano has a car going through a tunnel full of shit. Think of it like a car is moving, okay? That car is full of data points, all sorts of information, just all sorts of data. That's the difference. So while let's just say Cardano was one transaction per second and another blockchain was 5 transactions per second, there could be like 230, 240 different transactional data endpoints within that one transaction against the 5 of the other chain. This way, this chain looks like it's 5 times faster than Cardano, but people do not, it's like all of the intricacies of Cardano that make it what it is never get talked about because of the tribalism, because of the greed, the venture capitalists that are constantly trying to push these bullshit narratives of a lot of these other chains because they want to be competitive in a market that is about to leave them behind. And they spend more money on marketing and building fake narratives than the actual technology that's meant to perpetuate the space. They're not doing that. So they're playing a dirtier game. That's why we have so many bots. And when you are comparing a centralized project with a decentralized project, we don't have a lot of the same abilities, so to speak, with Cardano as other projects do. Okay, that's just the way it is. It's like it has been a little left behind in the marketing. But how do you market a decentralized brain that is ultimately going to connect the majority of blockchains in the space through its interoperability and its throughput and its the functionality that has been built into the network from day one, or at least the concept for which is coming to fruition day after day after day? There just is no comparison, folks. There just is no comparison. I don't care how you try and like what shade lipstick you put on these pigs. It's still a pig. When you're and you're trying to compare these pigs to something much, much different. Hydra, Cardano's state channel layer 2 solution, achieved over 1 million TPS and testnet benchmarks, a significant accomplishment for off-chain scalability. Recent launches include mainnet pilots for DeFi and gaming. By 2026, full integration with Lios and Minotaur, Consensus aims to support 1 million transactions per second on mainnet, unlocking massive ecosystem growth. Well, why is this? Why is this happening? You have to think about not only just the throughput that Cardano's working on implementing, which it will be implemented very soon. You have to think about why, okay? The narrative in a lot of blockchains early on, 2017, 18, 19, and so forth, has always been about financial throughput. Oh, we want to be the financial rails. We want to replace like Western Union and we need all of this throughput so that we can beat Visa, right? That was the whole narrative. No, that is so 5 years ago, 8 years ago. We have already expanded in scope far beyond any of that. None of that shit even matters anymore at this point. A lot of that stuff, sorry to say, is going to be handled through stable coins now, folks. I'm sorry. Now, what chain are these stable coins going to be on? We don't know. Okay. There are likely going to be 50, 60 different stable coins, and they're all going to be utilized in their own little tribal ways under the control of whoever's issuing them, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. There are going to be so many different stable coins out there. It just doesn't freaking matter. It's going to depend on what you're doing. Okay. Now, outside of that, what do you have? Well, you're going to have different blockchains that cater to different groups of people, different types of use cases, and they're all going to be relevant and specific to a particular use case. We're going to have different blockchains that are going to be utilized for Internet of Things. Don't forget about that, because by 2030, I guarantee you Internet of Things is probably going to be as big a narrative as AI, okay? That's what I think. I mean, if you think about where we're heading in societies across the globe, the control. If you look at everything through the eyes of what is going to help facilitate the control of those who want to have it, and how then you're going to start understanding the overall narratives associated with these projects and where they're heading and why. AI is going to monitor all of the throughput across the blockchain, all blockchains, period, end of story. The AI narrative is going to continue to grow to a certain point on a commercial level, but behind the scenes, under the radar of the general public, are going to be the real use cases. The commercial use cases are going to help fund these operations, but the real use cases are going to be to monitor everything at all times, period. Mix that in with Internet of Things protocols across the globe, monitoring everything we touch, we eat, we see, we think, we smell. That's all going to be a part of our daily lives. Those that control the money, those that control the data, those who control everything are going to know absolutely everything about us. And we are effectively going to become like batteries in the Matrix. I'm sorry, but that's just where we're headed. And the narratives associated with a lot of this are starting to open up more and more each day. I'm seeing it all over the place. And quite frankly, I used to think it was something that may be escapable, but anymore, I just don't think so. I just don't. Midnight airdrop through 2026. It will integrate with Bitcoin DeFi, enabling private yields and regulatory compliant apps. This is going to be a big deal. Cardano positioned itself as a leading Bitcoin DeFi platform with tools like Aiken and Plutus, enabling native Bitcoin script execution, unlocking $1.13 trillion in Bitcoin liquidity. This is going to be a big playground, folks. Cardano is going to be the brain network playground for all of these other blockchains to play in and be able to utilize applications they otherwise couldn't. Cardano is probably the only blockchain out there not only capable of doing this, but secure enough that people are going to trust it to do it with. Okay? Recent accomplishment includes bridge developments and ETF speculation. Plans to 2026 focus on full Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem, including perpetuals and options via projects like Strike Finance. Okay, that's just kind of an idea as to what's happened lately. All right. This next question. Is it just me? But I feel like we're just always constantly playing a guessing game of what's going to happen next. Charles is never direct. It's always, we're working on something big, but we can't say right now. So to that point, touche. I kind of agree with you to a certain extent, right? I believe that some of that stems from Charles and his excitement. I know what it's like when you're doing some amazing things and you really want people to know about it because you're kind of caught in this cycle of FUD and bullshit everywhere you turn, and everywhere you go, people are fudding your project, talking shit, talking trash. You've got bots all over every social media platform out there, just first in line. As soon as that trigger word comes up, these bots are activated, posting nonsense. And you want so badly to basically tell everyone everything, right? But you can't. You can't, because that's going to allow your competitors to get ahead of you in a lot of ways. And you don't want that. And so you have to be kind of cryptic, and you kind of have to be like, well, this is kind of happening, and you're probably going to really like next month. And, and that's just NDAs. That's another point, Sean. Exactly. There are just a lot of things that you can't say, man, especially when it comes to development partners and things like that. So you kind of have to be vague and beat around the bush, but let everybody know you're not sitting on idle hands. And it sucks because we care and we're excited and we want to know what these things are. So we feel like we're being dicked around with, right? Like, oh, every time Charles talks, it's in some kind of code. Why can't he just spit it out already? Unfortunately, that's the world we live in, because he just can't. I'd love for him to just be able to just come out and throw it all on the table and say, now get out there and be somebody. But unfortunately, he can't. And I understand that. I think it's the mindset established by lesser projects, honestly. Cardano has been designed from day one to be an interoperable network with the utmost in security and throughput from day one. This isn't just about building a chain that goes fast while losing its tires. And these are my answers to him in the article I wrote. And this is all part of the website, but, and then I kind of break down a lot of the different things associated with the different blockchains and the drama and all of that. You guys can go there and read it if you'd like. And he was asking a question about, did Charles actually meet Trump and Elon? We never heard anything more about it. And all I said was, as I understood it, Charles met with Trump and Elon, but I don't know the details. I don't know any of those details. So let's see. And then reading yesterday, the Cardano wasn't on that list. Here's the thing. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about, hold on, I'm going to open this back up. I'm not going to go through this whole article because I've already been online like 25 minutes. Oops. So here's one of the things. We have seen so many different narratives play out, right? We've been seeing all kinds of nonsense, and it seems to change every 6 months. There's always some BS associated with Cardano, right? And, right now we're seeing that some of these really minuscule, like kind of fun, like, oh, look at the government. They're going to use blockchain for some data, right? And everybody's all like, oh, why isn't Cardano on that list? Folks, I know that it sounds like a really big deal. Like I forget what it is. The government's planning on utilizing a particular blockchain or three to post some statistical data or something to that effect. I don't even remember. And then people are like, they're all bent over because it's not going to be on Cardano. How much do we really give a shit? I mean, let's be real about it. Like, what benefit does that really serve? And I think that there is a lot of, like, I was watching Charles stream the other day, and I was asking a few questions, and I think he's still just like shitty with me. So he just ignored me completely through the whole time. And I'm like, whatever, dude, you're so petty. But like, I'm over it. But like, it's just like I know he could read it because I could see the expressions on his face, and he's just like, oh, I don't want to talk to you. And I'm just like, whatever. But the truth is, man, is that like so much of this stuff is just noise. It is just noise. And I one of the things that I did ask, and I don't think he could say, to be honest, but I asked, like, how many of the projects that are kind of wrapped up into this whole governmental progression of crypto are pay to play? Because let's be real about it. Cardano's not paying to play any of this stuff. Cardano's not paying to have its name included in this and that. When it was originally named by the administration about being part of this whole stablecoin asset bank or whatever, Charles didn't even know about it until it was announced. But who were a part of that? I mean, you had other blockchains that we know are notorious. Like they will pay. I mean, they've offered me money in the past, like some of them. So it's like, and I'm like, why would you even attempt that? You know where I'm at with this, but it's like they're always willing to throw money around to get you to let's just change your tune. And I wasn't willing to do that. I had no interest at all. Even to this day, I like one of my guys who helps me get paid segments every once in a while. He tries to throw a project at me, oh, they've got a big budget, but they're on this chain. And I'm like, I don't give a shit what they've got. I'm not touching it. I don't give two shits that they're on that blockchain. Never touching it. Don't care how much money they offer. If it's a cross chain or if it's interoperable with something else or something like that. But if it's just solely some cash grab on this chain, I don't give a shit if they offer me 50 grand. I'm not touching it. Well, thank you, Chef. I wasn't going to try and point that out and name names, but yes, we turned down all Solana crap. Okay. So it's just, I'm just not willing to take the money. I don't want it. I don't want it. And it is what it is. And it's like, I'm more than willing to talk about other blockchains, but I am not willing to talk about blockchains that I know, feel, and have seen all of the different ways that they are just, let's just say, not for me. Right. That's it. And I'll leave it at that. So it is what it is. But I mean, you guys have to understand that Cardano itself is not being designed to be like a meme coin kingdom or like whatever it is. Crow 8U going to be a midnight validator. My node is already ready for midnight. Like it's already, as I understand it, Dave might be in chat. He can answer. He handles it for me. Does a hell of a job. I mean, the Crow node has been growing and doing really well. So yeah, it's all good. So yeah, man. I mean, overall, all I can really say is everybody just needs to calm down. People are talking about, there's so much nonsense associated with Cardano in favor of other blockchains, and it's like, there's Dave. Yeah, Dave, is Crow Node Midnight ready? I'm pretty sure it is. I know we've talked about it in the past, but I don't know if anything's changed. We will be a midnight validator, but it isn't on mainnet yet. Right. But it's like all of the testing and all of that stuff, as I understand it, is done. But yeah, midnight hasn't officially launched yet. People hope to just go back to $1. Okay. So let's take a look at some of this. Okay. You know what? No, we're not. We're not going to do it in this video because I'm still getting things set up here. And I don't want to share any technical analysis screens just yet because I don't have them set up, honestly. But maybe tomorrow I am going to try and I'm going to start getting into the swing of doing daily content again. And just sharing my thoughts on everything that's going on. And if you haven't yet, there are a couple things you can do. You can join cryptocrow.io, which is a really big deal. And you can kind of pick your poison. I think it's like $15 a month if you want access to everything I publish, or it's as low as $5 a month if you're only interested in like macro crypto news or AI or being a mortgage loan officer. If you're in the mortgage business, if you're not a member of my mortgage segment on there, you're crazy, because that's probably the best stuff you're ever going to see in the mortgage business on how to become a top loan officer. And I'm not kidding. I mean, it's yeah. Anyway, and if you're not sure, have your branch manager join, have him read it, and then he'll probably make you join, and everyone else in the office. And I'm not joking. Last time some MFR with a similar username was trolling you, so I've been called a bot. Oh, okay. Well, you never know. We're with you, brother, and sending you love. Thank you, Sean. You know what? Hey, how many of you guys, I'm not sure how old you guys are, but I do want to share this with you because this actually made me cry like a little girl. And it's funny because after the fact, the guy was talking about how this is one thing that makes grown men cry all the time. And I'm like, yeah, okay, you're right. Thank you for that. Thank you for noticing and pointing that out. Wait, what is this? Ultra big workstation goes slim. Is this for real? Did they just announce this? Oh, you can't see it yet, can you? So I haven't been to the main website in a while. This is nuts. CTAB 64. What am I talking about? See, this is going to be really weird to talk about and not get a little emotional. But did you guys know that a YouTuber recently bought Commodore? How many of you guys are familiar with this? What's going on, Big Pay? Yeah, a YouTuber recently bought Commodore. And I saw the original video a while back. And the whole thing, man, like the dude has the kind of voice I could fall asleep to. I wish he would like do story time. But yeah, this guy bought, you know what, maybe I'll pull it up on YouTube itself. How about that? So that I can show you guys who I'm talking about. You can go give him a follow. Bought Commodore. So my first computer ever was a Commodore 64. And no, I don't care about. Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to show you guys. This guy bought Commodore. I can't believe it, but I watched the video where it all happened, and I watched the signing and everything, and I was just like, unbelievable, man. Where you at? All right, so yeah, this guy officially bought Commodore. And yes, Commodore 64, folks. Like he bought the whole thing. Apparently, what happened was he had reached out to them because he wanted to use the license for some of his own products. And I guess after some meetings and some talks and everything, they said, you seem to know a hell of a lot more than us. Why don't you just buy the whole company? And so he worked it all out to buy the whole company. And I'm like, it's such an emotional journey because, so if you look at the top left, where you see the computer with the tiny little screen on it, and then you've got a little disk drive, a floppy disk bay, and then the disk drive, and it's like sitting on a handle. That is the SX64. That was the first computer I ever had. My mom bought one for me at a garage sale for $340. She made payments for 6 months on that thing so I can have a computer. And I was playing everything from Maniac Mansion, Rambo First Blood, all of that stuff on that computer with that tiny little, I don't even think that was I don't even remember what size screen that was. I think it was like a 5x5 inch screen. And I don't even know what I would do if I had another one, honestly. That thing was heavy, first of all. I think it was like 35 pounds. But I just, yeah, man, this guy bought Commodore. God love him. I've been watching his channel and everything he's been doing and talking about. And yeah, it's like I'm hooked now. I want to know everything that this guy's doing. And yeah, love him. Love everything he's doing. I mean, just looking at this stuff, man, it's such a blast from the past. And they're basically re-releasing Commodore 64s that are basically like modern systems, but they kind of look like the originals. And yeah, it's just going to be nuts. So I'll cover that more in the future. I had some questions on my thoughts on the World Liberty finance token. Honestly, I don't really know what to make of it. I've been looking into it a little bit, and I just don't. I don't really know how I feel about it, quite frankly, because to one extent, it's like, okay, cool. You know, we get it. You've got your meme coins, you've got this and that. But I'm not subscribed on this. I'm not on this computer. I am on my main one. Because I watch YouTube with different accounts and things. But yeah, I just subscribed on this one just for you. Okay. So that you guys know. But yeah, I wasn't subscribed on this computer or on this account. Oh my God, here we go. Is Drakkar Nomis. These guys, man, they never stop. All right. So yeah, I guess let me go through comments, see if there's any questions or anything. And no way Commodore 64 will be waiting. We be still waiting for games to load. I remember the Batman game I loved. I remember that Batman game. Yeah, loading times weren't great, but you know, back then it's all we had. And so I loved my Commodore, man. I loved it because my mom found me a computer club. I was the only kid. And it was this computer club. We meet like the first or second Tuesday of every month. And I remember this guy, Dominic, who was a mailman. And my mom crushed on this guy so hard. He was super cool, though. And he basically always said, like, bring as many floppy disks as you want. And then, like, when you come back the following month, I'll have them all full of games for you. And boy, every month he sure did. That's how I got like my Maniac Mansion. And I had so many games all the time, and it was so addicting. And I barely remember the string to load. It was like load quote 8 quote comma 8 comma 1 run or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but it was something like that. It was something like, it's like nowadays it's so funny because we just double click shit, but back then it was such a big deal, like having to retype that same string over and over and over to load up anything. How much do you guys think the Night tokens will be traded for at launch? No clue. But I think that there are going to be I think that Night tokens are going to continue growing in value over a very long period of time. I think that Night tokens are going to be one of the most sought after assets in crypto. I really do. There's just a lot going on. And here's the thing. You know, so many people are like, how much is this going to be worth? How much is that going to be worth? Am I going to be rich tomorrow? I just got my check yesterday and I bought these tokens. When do I sell them? And it's just like, listen, guys, like if you want it, I don't hate Alex Becker. I think he's funny. I used to hate him because I thought he was really like that. I'm like, what happened to this guy? I used to watch his marketing content back in the day when he was big in SEO, like search engine optimization. He was one of the biggest hustlers in the space. And I don't even mean that in a bad way, but he's a brilliant marketer. Him and was it Neil Patel, the big SEO guy? And I used to watch his stuff all the time. And his whole demeanor even then was kind of like, you're an idiot if you're not buying this and getting your websites ranked, right? And, you know, it was what it was. Then I saw him in crypto and I'm like, what is he doing in crypto now? And I'm like, you know, and then he started with this whole different persona. And I'm thinking to myself, is this guy for real? Like, what a asshole. Like, right. And that's who I thought he was. And then the more I realized it was all a shtick, and then it was kind of tongue in cheek and everything. And I actually love him. I think he's hilarious because I can tell he genuinely does mean well, but he's like, you know, he has to act like a degenerate to get the attention of other degenerates and try and steer them in the right direction. At least that's how I look at it. And he cracks his jokes and this and that. And it's like, that's all fine, man. It's funny. I mean, I just think he's funny. At one point, I wanted to fight him. and in another point, I was actually trying to help set up a fight for him and another guy because I thought he was just such a douchebag. And I'm like, you know, he's always talking this shit. I'm like, why don't you do something to back it up instead of just always running your mouth? And then I realized it's all just a show, man. It's all just stick. It's just, he's just being ornery and funny, and he's just being entertaining. And I'm like, oh, bravo. Because you had me, man. You had me going. So yeah, I think he's great. I do. It took me a while because he really had me fooled for a minute. But yeah, man, if I ever saw him out anywhere, I'd shake his hand, just be like, dude, well done. You had me going for years. You know, other guys like that too. Like there are UFC fighters that are like that. Like behind the camera, you know, they're like the best, nicest people in the world, but in front of that camera, they're the biggest heels ever. So, you know, listen, I think overall what I'm trying to say in this video is just you guys have to be patient, man. You know, like do I believe we're going to break all-time highs? Yes, I do. I think we're going to break new all-time highs. How high are we going to go? That I truly don't know. I'd love to say $8, right? There are people out there that say it's never going to break $1. Well, we've done that. There are people that it's never going to its all-time high. The same way everybody's been saying for Ethereum. This is the same shit every cycle, man. It's the same narratives. It's the same bots. It's the same bullshit. The only thing that's really significantly different now is the measures Cardano has gone to maintain its development and its progress and its expansion. Okay. I mean, last market cycle, we didn't even have smart contracts at the peak of the market. We've got that and a hell of a lot more right now. And we're lining up, we're gearing up to achieve so much stuff with Cardano. And it's just like you have to wait patiently. And I mean, it's like, yeah, it sucks. It sucks in some ways because you see a lot of these other blockchains that you know damn well don't have the technical merit that should even be able to smell a fart in the same room as Cardano, quite frankly. But they've got money. They're well funded, and you know these guys are willing to pump millions and millions of dollars into whatever, and you know it works because it captures the degens who are like, you know what, I don't care if everything about it's fake. I don't care if this chain or that chain has wash trading and fake numbers and just they don't care. They don't care as long as they believe that. And this is the one thing that I have recently come to the conclusion of. I think that there are a lot of people who have struggled in making money, or they're young and they're fearful of ever being able to own a home or to basically do anything financially, right? Because they see the way the world is changing. And they look at everything as like they're a victim of a system. And I do believe that some of these people look at projects like Solana and some of these others that are very well funded and controlled by very wealthy people. They look at them as a system and they think, well, you know what? I own Solana. And if these guys are the kind of guys that control the world, they're going to help make me rich. I don't care if the numbers are bullshit. I don't care if it's like a fake this or what. They don't care as long as that system gives them a leg up in the world. And, you know, there's a part of me that's kind of like, I don't blame you. If Solana does really well, you know, people, oh, Solana's going to go to $2,000 and $5,000 or whatever. It's like, you know what, if it does and it works out for you, man, congratulations. Like wholeheartedly, I'm glad that system took care of you. But for every person that I think that are taken care of in that way, I think there are going to be a lot more that are not. And that's what scares me. And that's a part of my fear in crypto. Because to some extent it is like a zero sum game. It's damaging to some people when it's most rewarding to others. And generally the others that it's supportive of are the ones that are perpetuating a lot of the bullshit to begin with. And it sucks to see people like that be rewarded. But we're at such a pinnacle point right now in all of crypto. And a lot of this stuff is shaping up right before our eyes. And I believe that Cardano is going to be, like I was saying earlier, everybody's like, oh, the government's going to be, putting some data on a blockchain. And it's just like, so what? Like, really, who cares? Is there like it doesn't matter. It's such a very small thing. That's like me saying I stopped off at the Dairy Queen yesterday and bought a sundae while I'm out looking for a chain to buy across the country, right? And it's just like, it doesn't mean shit. I bought a sundae, whoop-de-doo. Was it good? Sure, it was pretty good, but I have no interest in buying the entire chain. I'm going to go over to this In-N-Out or whatever, right? So it doesn't really matter. I guess overall the point I'm trying to make is, folks, we just have to calm down and do what you have to do to get your situation right so that you're not freaking out at every turn. And just, watch and wait. And this is going to continue transforming. And I, for one, am very bullish still about the market cycle. I'm going to be doing a video this week where I'm talking about the market cycle in detail. I'm trying to debate on what computer I want to do it on. I really don't know if I like this setup yet. But yeah, I mean, like I said before, the last time I did any work on that, it looked like we were potentially lining up for a Bitcoin peak in December, and then quite potentially like an altcoin market peak in February, which really would continue lining up with what I'm seeing right now. We're in this little dip. Matter of fact, I'm looking at, oh God, I almost went short at 25 cents too, and it's down to like 21.5 cents. This World Liberty Finance token. Oh my God. I mean, where does it go? And then in the midst of that, Bitcoin has been pretty much steady. So yeah, Bitcoin's steady right there. And that World Liberty token is just taking a huge shit on everybody. But the funny thing is that the entry point for a lot of the insiders of that World Liberty token got in at like a penny. So they're still sitting at 20x right now. They don't really care. And all it has to do is it has to go back up before it's all done, right? And this is the other one final point I want to make. I don't think that this market cycle is going to be like every other market cycle in the past. I just don't. I don't think it's going to be the same thing. I think that we are it's just not. I don't think we're getting these big 80% pullbacks. I don't think we're getting any of that. I mean, I'm thinking at max maybe we get 40% drawdowns or a 40% pullbacks at a peak. And then we're going to rinse and repeat. Remember, folks, all the way back in like 2021, I was saying that could be the last big peak and drop we're going to get, right? And I basically said that we could be heading into like a 10-year cycle from here. I don't know how many of you guys remember me talking about that back in 2021 and 2022, but we may very well be there. I don't think we're going to get these big 80% drops that we're used to seeing. And I don't think a lot of the altcoins, I think the cream of the crop altcoins are going to continue maintaining that top 50 status in the market cycle. But I think this is going to be a part where we're kind of sifting out the trash, the flash, the trash, the false narratives. I think a lot of those tokens are going to go to the wayside. And, I'm not going to go on for hours on end. I'll cover a lot of this stuff in different videos a little more pointedly, but like I'm not really pressed. I'm not worried about what's happening. I don't think this cycle is over. And quite frankly, even if for some crazy odd reason this was the 124,000 was the peak of the wow, if that's the case, that's eye-opening. I don't think that's the case at all. But even if that were the case, give it 6 months, man, we'll break it again. Give it another 6 months, we'll probably break that all-time high. And honestly, even if we are in the midst of like a new 10-year cycle period where it's just kind of like these upticks for the next 10 years with these minor drops, listen, folks, these institutions, these whales, all of the different countries, there is too much at stake now across the board when it comes to crypto, that I don't think they could afford having big 80% drops right now, because the entire global economy, to a large extent, is leaning on crypto assets and a transition into them. We're sitting at, what, a $4 trillion market cap right now. What do you think is going to happen when, well, you know what? There's stuff that we're going to be covering this week, but I'm going to cover it with data and with windows open. So I'm going to show you some of this stuff. But yeah, I think gone are the days where we have these 4-year cycle peaks and 80% drops and rinse and repeat, and 2 years bear, 2 years bull. I think all that stuff is done. But I think it's done in the way we're used to seeing them. I don't think the time frames are necessarily going to change that dramatically. I think what we're going to see within those time frames is already, we're already seeing that it's changing quite a bit. So until next time, guys and gals, thanks for joining me. Crow your coins. Make sure you go to cryptocrow.io. And if you haven't yet, go mint some boosters on wargroom.io, because I am going to be playing some of you guys. If you can call it playing when I say I'm whooping that ass. But, if you want to try your luck and play me at some point in the future, just get your boosters and let's rock it. Until next time, crow your coins. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.